Hello everyone, Ryan here. So, happy Death Day to you. Happy Death Day to you. Of course, there's a sequel to Happy Death Day, and obviously I know, but I did watch and review the first movie, Happy Death Day, a while ago. Honestly, something like a year ago or something like that. Or if I can find the link to it, I will provide it. Obviously, but obviously I'm recording this right now in my car on my phone, parked out in front of the place where I live, and I'm also kind of drunk. I guess not completely drunk, but kind of drunk, so I don't know exactly how unbiased this review will be, but whatever. So pretty much in this movie, a Happy Death Day to you, or it's just a sequel. I don't know why they felt the need to insert the you, like, cause, you know, in the first one, obviously, the main character, she is pretty much like a rip-off of Groundhog Day. Pretty much like 99% a rip-off of Groundhog Day. I feel. You know, she gets killed on her birthday. She's forced to relive the same day over and over until she figures out who the killer is and all that. But then in this one, something else happens, and there's another character by the name of Ryan, which I found slightly interesting, but because of the fact that he is, you know, he's supposed to be like in charge of this whole quantum science project thing, that which is actually turns out to be the very thing responsible for creating some kind of time loop thing, or rather something that creates some kind of connection between different dimensions within the same universe, or some crap like that. Or I don't know the exact terminology, but essentially kind of like along the same vein of alternate universes and whatnot. And yeah, that's pretty much what happens in this movie, in the sequel. Actually, in this one, in the sequel, it becomes much less of a horror movie, more of a sci-fi movie, which I actually like. Me personally, I'm definitely a bigger fan of sci-fi movies than I am of horror movies. I mean, mostly because, you know, every horror movie I've seen ultimately every horror movie I've seen ultimately leaves me disappointed. And, you know, when it comes to sci-fi movies, I'm always, no matter what the topic is, what the main thing is, as far as sci-fi is concerned, yeah, I'm usually always interested in anything and everything to do with sci-fi. So yeah, and this one, it's more, has a lot more to do with alternate universes, dimensions, and whatnot, and which I would say made it definitely much more interesting for me personally. But I'd imagine for a lot of other people, I imagine a lot of other people would not really like it. I mean, for me, I didn't like the first movie, Happy Death Day. I didn't like it that much. Mostly because I figured out who the killer was in less than 10 minutes or so. And this one, I actually kind of really couldn't quite figure out who the killer was. Even though in this one, the killer was actually not the main focus of the plot. And so, I mean, I guess you could say I was kind of surprised once the killer was revealed. But at the same time, not that much surprised, but when compared to the first movie, yeah, I was definitely pretty surprised. And I mean, I don't know how else to put it without giving away too much. And obviously, I mean, of course, as far as the performances are concerned, I mean, they're decent. I mean, pretty much the same, if not the exact same as the first movie, and nothing really too crazy as far as the performances are concerned. But although I will say the ending to this one is definitely much more interesting. Definitely much more interesting. Wasn't expecting it. I mean, I wish I could go into great detail about just the ending alone, but yeah, no, that'd be giving away too much. I mean, as far as for those who haven't seen it, if you haven't seen it, and obviously, yeah, I mean, I will say, obviously, I know I'm late to reviewing this movie, but still, I will say, yeah, the ending to this one, it definitely sets up the whole thing for a possible part 3. At least that's how I feel. Possible part 3. Yeah, I don't know how else, how much other details. I mean, I'm not exactly sure how many other details I can give away. It's just, you gotta see it. I mean, I will say, I know, obviously, when I saw the first movie, Happy Death Day, I kind of liked it. I wasn't too sure about it. I didn't like that it just seemed like an all-out, blatant rip-off of Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day, of course, which stars Bill Murray. But then in this one, the sequel, I I definitely like that it kind of diverges away from what Groundhog Day did, at least initially. I don't know how else to describe it. Yeah, and of course, in this one, in the sequel, it's more like, obviously, there's a lot more like sciencey stuff involved, and which I like. I mean, even though granted, it's not like too in depth, but just enough detail, just enough in depth that it'll pique your interest, at the very least, piqued my interest, and as far as like, when it comes to time and space and dimensions and alternate universes and whatnot. And even though, granted, I might be alone in that whole thing, but obviously, I mean, without giving away a whole lot of details, I like the sequel. I didn't expect that I was going to like it as much as I did, but hey, yeah, I ended up really liking it. So, as far as an overall rating goes, I guess I would give it I say 8 at the bare minimum. I mean, I must say 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, definitely 8. Yeah, 8.5 out of 10 at the most. Yeah. I mean, obviously, mostly because there's only like maybe one or two things that I was kind of on the fence about. Like, I want to know just a little bit more about, like a little more details about, but yeah, 8.5 out of 10. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, that's obviously, I know it's not the kind of movie that anyone is going to expect to win an award or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. And in fact, again, getting back to the ending, just the ending alone, like, I figure, like, if they do make a part 3, they definitely, they gotta go all out for part 3. Just because, there'd be no other way. I mean, that's how I feel. So, yeah. So that's it. Pretty much for my review of this movie. Happy Death Day to you. Happy Death Day to you. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. That's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. As always, next time, don't forget, keep it real, keep it rockin', and peace.